The necklace wasn't flashy. That was partly why I wore it. White gold, small sapphire, old cut. It had belonged to my grandmother, then my mother, and eventually to me, not because I was the favorite, but because I was the only one who asked about it. I paid to have the prongs reinforced a few years ago. Quiet maintenance, like most things in my life. Family dinner was loud in the way ours always is. Too many overlapping conversations, too much wine poured before the food arrives. I had come straight from work. I didn't change. I didn't make an entrance. Halfway through the main course, my niece leaned across the table. She's 15, long limbs, dancer posture, even when she's slouching. "Let me see that," she said, already reaching. Before I could respond, her fingers hooked the chain and pulled it forward, lifting it from my collarbone. The movement was careless, but not aggressive, just entitled. She squinted at the stone. "My mom says it's from the flea market." The line landed too smoothly. Practiced, delivered with the light sarcasm of someone repeating an adult joke. There was a beat of silence. Then my brother-in-law laughed. My sister followed, a quick exhale through her nose like it wasn't a big deal. Someone else murmured, "Oh my God!" The table shifted back into motion. I felt the heat in my face before I felt anything else. I could have corrected her, explained provenance, mentioned appraisals, told them the stone predated any flea market within 100 miles. Instead, I watched my sister avoid my eyes. I watched my niece still holding the chain, twisting it between her fingers as if testing its strength. "Careful," I said quietly. She smiled, half challenge, half innocence, and in adjusting her grip, she bent the clasp the wrong way. It snapped open with a tiny metallic sound. The necklace slipped from her hands and hit the edge of her plate before sliding onto the tablecloth. More laughter. Nervous this time. Someone said, "It's fine, it's just costume stuff." I picked it up. The clasp hung crooked, repairable, not ruined. "It's okay," I said. And it was. In that moment, it truly was. What wasn't okay was understanding very clearly that this wasn't about a necklace. For 3 years, I'd been paying my niece's tuition at an elite dance academy, $50,000 a year, housing, training, private coaching. I had insisted on anonymity with the academy. Officially, I was listed as a private sponsor. At home, it was framed as a family contribution. My sister had cried when the acceptance letter arrived. She and her husband couldn't have managed it alone. I stepped in because I could. No speeches, no contracts, just an agreement I would cover tuition through graduation. At dinner, not one person mentioned that. Not in defense, not in gratitude, not even in acknowledgement. The comment about the flea market didn't hurt because it was wrong. It hurt because it revealed something that had been said casually somewhere else about me. I stayed through dessert. I hugged my niece goodbye. She didn't apologize. She didn't think she needed to. That night, after washing my face and placing the broken necklace on my dresser, I opened my laptop. The Academy portal is sterile, blue and white interface, donor dashboard, upcoming payments listed in a clean column. The next transfer was scheduled in 2 weeks. I clicked Modify Sponsorship. There was a drop-down menu, Defer, Adjust, Cancel. I selected Cancel. A small box appeared, Are you sure? This action is irreversible once the seat is reassigned. I paused, not because I doubted the decision, but because I wanted to make sure I wasn't reacting. I replayed dinner, the laughter, the line delivered too easily, the way my sister didn't correct it. I wasn't canceling because a teenager was rude. I was canceling because I had mistaken financial access for mutual respect. I confirmed. An automated email arrived seconds later. Sponsorship terminated. Funds released back to primary account. The Academy would notify the family within 24 hours. Per policy, I closed the laptop and went to bed. The next morning, the Academy director called me directly. Her voice was measured. "We wanted to confirm this wasn't submitted in error. Once we offer the placement to the waitlisted dancer, we can't reverse it." It wasn't an error," I said. There was a pause. "She's very talented," the director added. "I know," I replied. "I hope she continues training, just not under my sponsorship." By noon, my sister called. Her voice was tight, not angry yet, just alarmed. Is there some mistake with the academy? They said funding was withdrawn. No mistake. Silence stretched between us. You can't just do that, she said finally. We've signed housing contracts. She turned down other programs. I didn't sign those contracts. That's not the point. I let that sit. She exhaled sharply. If this is about dinner, she's a kid. It's not about dinner, I said. And that was true. It's about understanding the nature of support. Another silence, heavier. You're punishing her. I'm withdrawing my contribution. My voice didn't rise. I didn't list expenses. I didn't remind her how the tuition had been transferred every August without fanfare. I'm not obligated to continue, I said, and I don't feel inclined to. There it was, clean, unembellished. Her tone shifted then from indignation to something more cautious. So that's it. Yes. The academy reassigned the seat within 2 days. I received confirmation. Final, administrative, no drama. Family group chats grew quieter after that. Invitations became more formal, less presumptive. No one mentioned flea markets again. A week later, I took the necklace to a jeweler. The clasp was replaced with a sturdier one. The chain shortened slightly in the process. It sits differently now, higher on my collarbone. I still attend family dinners. My niece is civil, polite even. There's distance where there used to be easy familiarity. I don't try to close it. I didn't celebrate canceling the tuition. I didn't feel triumphant, but I sleep without replaying that moment at the table. I understand now that generosity without boundaries breeds a kind of casual disrespect, not cruelty, just erosion. They're allowed to think my necklace came from a flea market. They're not entitled to what pays for their future.